Welcome back to the Final Lap Weekly. My name is Kerry Murphy. I'm a longtime NASCAR media member and syndicated radio host of all things The Final Lap. Our co-host for the show is Toby Christie, NASCAR founder and editor-in-chief NASCAR, TobyChristie.com. NASCAR is the place. NASCAR.
All about that NASCAR.
Welcome, YouTube people. Thank you so much for checking us out on YouTube. Last week's video did so well. Thank you so much for everybody who joined in on the fun. Almost 2,000 views. We are up to 150 subscribers. I remember back in the day, just like a month ago, we were begging for 100 subscribers. So
way back in the day.
Yes, 50 more is great. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff if you like what we're doing here at The Final Lap. YouTube.com/The Final Lap. If you're on the radio and podcast, you're getting all the same stuff. So don't worry about it.
Yes, it's all good.
But if you're listening to the podcast, go over to YouTube as well and just double dip our audience.
Content.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
yes.
Great.
So let's begin with Kurt Busch. I mean, this has got to be an awesome week for him. It's his birthday. He's celebrating. He's having a good time. He's a year older. You're fired, buddy.
Wow.
Toast. Get out of my sight.
I don't think it quite went down like that. I hope not.
No,
that seems
that's how I envisioned it.
Severe, but I mean, are you really fired if you don't have a contract?
Well, yeah, you're jobless. You got to polish off the resume and start.
Yeah, but you were already jobless. Like, you don't have the contract yet.
Well, so he knew he was fired. Soon. Yes. What a birthday,
he was like,
man!
I'm so fired going into my birthday. I hope they don't make it official.
Yeah. Oh, and look at that. They did. Look what happened.
So chances are, usually when this kind of stuff happens, usually that means the other shoe is on the other foot already. So I imagine Kurt Busch has already got whatever he's doing lined up, whether that be the second 2311 car that they've been rumoring, or that be moving to Fox Sports as an analyst. I think he's got whatever he's going to be doing figured out. So I'm not that worried about Kurt Busch.
I'm not worried about him either. I mean, he's probably a millionaire at this point, and he's racking up the funds, and so. Yeah. Ross Chastain is the big announcement part of this whole thing. He was announced as the new driver of the number one car, which is Kurt Busch's car right now, for 2022 when Trackhouse takes over the reins of Chip Ganassi Racing. Let's first hear from, Trackhouse executive now, Justin Marks.
This is a great moment, another great moment in the short, history so far of Trackhouse Racing. As Ross mentioned, I've known him for a long time, and when he first came on the scene, knocking on our front door with a couple $20 bills to buy a used race seat from me, and for us both, not just him, but for us both to be at this point right now with the way our career trajectories have gone since that, 10 years ago or so is pretty amazing. Trackhouse, we're trying to build something real special for the future. And that means, recognizing talent that sort of is at an important point in the career where they've got experience, but they're young and they're still building their career. And that's what we feel like we have with Daniel. And now for sure we have with Ross. I mean, Ross has got a number of cup starts under his belt. Just like Daniel, Ross is one of those guys where when he's been sitting in race winning equipment, he's gotten the job done. And that is a talent and a skill that is independent of just how fast you can go. There's a lot of guys in this sport that have sat in real fast stuff and not figured out how to close. We've got 2 winners on this race team now, 2 closers on this race team. I've got a lot of respect for Ross. He's important to Chevrolet. We've got a lot of partners that are excited about working with him that we're closing for 2022 right now. And, it's a great day. I think it was a great choice for our company. We've got somebody that can be a part of this company for a long time. I'm excited to offer Ross what I think is probably his first multi-year contract in his career in NASCAR. And it's a way for us to show that we're committed to him. We're building this team around him, and I'm excited for the future. So welcome, Ross.
Okay, so there you have Justin Marks. We're doing some audio now on YouTube. Pretty fancy stuff.
Wow. We're just going all out here. This is great.
Yeah.
How about we hear from the driver himself, the man who made all of the headlines, Ross Chastain.
Excitement is always the name of the day with an announcement like this, but it's more than just excitement for another team. I've been now crazy enough in this sport for 10 years. Didn't know what I was getting into 10 years ago. What's so crazy is that the first race I ever ran, I bought a seat and drove the next race after Justin had raced that truck, the same truck, number 66 truck for Stacy Compton. had no idea how full circle this all could come, but went back to him about more seats, made that connection. And it's more than just another team. I've been with a lot now, and I've been fired, and I've left teams, and I've done a lot of things, and I could do a lot of things better, but to bring it full circle with somebody that I've known my entire time in the sport, and do it with a group that it just truly, I mean this when I say it, it truly feels like it's more than just another team. And I think that's what made this process of getting me in this car so much easier for both sides.
I love that. I love the way he reached out so hysterically, texts Justin Marks and says, I want this. That's it.
And that's it. And he now has it. So
that takes some guts right there.
It does. It really does. But you hear a lot of these kind of stories in sports, like Tom Brady told Kraft over there, you draft me, it's not gonna be a mistake. You're gonna want me. And sure enough, wins like 700 Super Bowls for him. So this is kind of the stuff that happens.
Did you see the Tom Brady video from, I think it was last week?
He's chucking video?
Doctored. It was awesome any way you look at it.
Well, yes,
so
I
cool.
agree with that. But yeah, it was not.
It's very cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So, in sports, that's how it is. If you're going to be an elite athlete in any sport, you have to have confidence in yourself. And it's quite obvious that Ross Chastain does have the confidence in himself to reach out to Justin Marks with that kind of a text. And it's interesting and awesome to see that it worked out for him.
I just realized I'm bald.
You didn't know that?
Well, I usually wear a hat on the YouTube video.
Oh, man.
So
YouTuber's going to be eating you up.
This is not good. The cat is out of the bag.
Uh-oh, there it is. That's okay. I
forgot my hat.
It's a choice, though. It's not that it doesn't grow. You just choose to shave it. You're cool.
Yeah. You like the coffee house I'm in, or whatever this is?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what it is. I don't know where I am.
What's with that tablet sitting on that weird stand over there?
I have no idea. I found myself in this warehouse last week, and now somehow I'm here, and there's nobody else here but just me.
That's awesome. They allowed you to have this space.
Yeah. I'm not paying rent.
Let's tune in next week to see where you're at next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, unfortunately, we have a little variant going around of COVID called Delta, and masks are now back for NASCAR at Watkins Glen. They're going to be requiring masks for all people, regardless of your vaccination status, in enclosed areas like haulers, media centers, restrooms, infield care center, suites. Basically, if you're inside, you got to have a mask. However, they're not required outside at this time. And so I guess if you're headed to the racetrack, pack a mask, especially, at least if you're going to the bathroom.
Well, I mean, at some point, you're probably going to run into a situation where you're going to need one. So just have the mask with you. Let's be smart about the whole thing and do our part to limit this as much as possible so we can get back to normal attending NASCAR races. And let's hope we don't have any limitations on crowds going forward if we can get this thing under control. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, we don't want to see a situation where it's shut down again. I mean, that was brutal last year.
That was 10 weeks of just, oh my gosh, why?
Look how awesome this online racing is. It's all we got, so that's what we're talking about.
Look at William Byron Jr. winning every race.
We sold it hard, though. Like, this was the best thing ever.
I mean,
and it's okay.
And how ironic would it be now, though, that since they disbanded the whole Pro Invitational Series, that they have to bring it back now?
Yeah, let's not do that. Please wear your masks, please.
Because even they admitted basically that it sucked, and that's why they kind of just stopped it. And now we're bringing it back.
Right. Yeah. All right, let's head into this weekend. Watkins Glen is back on the schedule. A bad, fast road course track. And we've got the top 10 already based on the crazy magical wizardry of NASCAR and not of speed of qualifying at Watkins Glen. So track position's key. These 10 guys are going to have an advantage no matter how you look at it. And they are Alex Bowman, Martin Truex Jr., Eric Almirola, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, and again, Toby Christie is going to hit you upside the head with the top 5.
Yeah, you got Kevin Harvick sitting there in 5th. How big would a win be for him at this point? He's starting to teeter on that playoff bubble. Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney at number 3, Joey Logano on the front row. And he'll be joining his Team Penske teammate, Brad Keselowski. So 1, 2, 3 for Team Penske. That's a pretty good start for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's
Huge.
weird. Okay.
All right.
There was no race last year at the Glen, but previous 2 races were won, of course, by Chase Elliott because he wins everything with a road course, basically.
Yeah. And when you go further, so if you look at the last 3 times we went to Watkins Glen, you had Martin Truex Jr. win in 2017. Obviously Chase Elliott hadn't boomed yet at that point, so we won't credit him too much for that. But then the next year, Chase Elliott wins, Martin Truex Jr. second. Then the next year, Chase Elliott wins, Martin Truex Jr. second. So that's something to think about there. Those guys are pretty good here.
I got to check my fantasy lineup and see if I've got any Chase and Martins left. So
you better hope you do at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Don't forget fantasy racing coming up in a few minutes with Rowdy Dragon. He's got a whole segment on Watkins Glen. He is ready to lay down the law when it comes to fantasy picks. That does it for our YouTube segment. We're going to have to say goodbye to the YouTube people. Don't forget, if you like these videos and you want more of them, we would love for you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And if you want to hear what we're going to say next, you got to head over to the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. See how we all have all this tied together? Isn't it great?
This is pretty sweet how you did that. That's amazing.
All right. Bye, YouTube.
See you guys. Bye.